Welcome back for another Sunday prep day. If you're new here, every Sunday I prepare all my veggies for the week. And I'll make some other things as well. Like this week I'll make some low carb wraps out of cauliflower. Last time you saw me make these out of broccoli. So I'll just go over it quickly. And I'll start with that because that needs to cool down a bit before I can make it into the wraps. So I'll do that first. So I'm just cutting some of the florets off of this cauliflower. I'm just cutting them into pieces that are small enough to go in my food processor. Now it's just a question of ricing these. I have a little bit of cauliflower left over, and I'll use that on Wednesday when I do some air fried chicken. So I'm just cutting into slightly smaller pieces. So I'll just finish this and then I'll tell you about my menu. What we're going to do with this cauliflower is just microwave that for about 4 minutes. You can steam it too, I've done that before, but that will just take longer. So this is the quickest way. Of course, you could buy cauliflower rice. You don't have to make it. But making it yourself is just much cheaper. So here I have about half a head of cauliflower. That should be enough for a couple of portions. So we'll just put this in the microwave for 4 minutes. A little cleanup. So the other thing I'm making is some pulled pork, which I'm going to do in a moment. So yeah, for my menu, while I start on chopping some onions. It's now Sunday, so for lunch I'm just going to have a sandwich. And then for dinner, I'm going to do some roasted vegetables with some chicken. And then for Monday, Meatless Monday, I have some meat replacement, some fake chicken. So for lunch, because I do low carb lunches on weekdays, I'll use some of the low carb wraps that I'm making. So I'll do some fajitas. I've been eating a lot of fajitas lately. And then for dinner, with those same chicken pieces, or fake chicken, I'll do some stir fry. So I'll cut some vegetables for that. And then on Tuesday, for lunch, I'll have some of those low carb wraps. And I think I'll do some chicken with that. Chicken and some veggies, just to stir fry them. And then for dinner, I'll do some pulled pork tacos with some homemade barbecue sauce. I'm going to make the sauce keto, because I'll use it for some lunches as well. But the tacos themselves will not be a keto meal or a low carb meal. And then on Wednesday, I'll roast some chicken drumsticks in the air fryer. for lunch with some cauliflower, or I also have some green beans in the fridge still. And then for dinner, what am I gonna do? Oh yeah, I'll use some of that pulled pork that I have left over, and I'm gonna do a rice bowl with some corn and all kind of yumminess. And then on Thursday, I'll do some low-carb wraps with pulled pork and the keto barbecue sauce. That's why I'm making it keto. And then for dinner, I'll do some burgers. Okay. The cauliflower's steamed through now, so I'm just going to let that cool so I can strain the water out. Friday, I never plan Fridays because that all depends on what I have left over, but it will most likely be something with fish because I do fish Fridays. And then for dinner, I have some salmon, and I'll have that with maybe the cauliflower, maybe the green beans. We'll just see. I have some broccoli as well that I could use. And I have some small potatoes that I'll roast with that as well. So that's the menu. So the onions I'm going to use for the barbecue sauce and for the pulled pork. And the red onions I'm using for the stir fry and for the fajitas. And then because I'm doing the roast veg, I have some shallots here. I'm just going to cut into some bigger pieces. There we go. And with that, I'll also roast some garlic, a whole head of garlic. I'm not going to peel it because then it will burn, so I'll just leave it in. And then we have some garlic cloves that I've already peeled. So some of these are going in the fajitas, some of these are going in the stir fry, in the barbecue sauce. I'm just going to cut these fine. And to go with the roasted vegetables, I also have some sweet potato. I'm just going to leave the skin on. I don't mind the skin. These vegetables I'm going to roast for about an hour, so it doesn't need to be too fine. Just throw that in there. What I am going to peel is this parsnip. That's going to go into the roast vegetables. And I have some carrots that I've washed. So I'll cut those into large pieces as well. Let's do one more. There we go. And then I have one more carrot, and I'll just cut that fine for the stir fry. Cut that at an angle. And then I also have some more butternut squash. It's a good thing that these last forever, because I can never go through a whole one in a few days. There we go, and then we have these small potatoes that I'll just cut in half, and we'll roast those as well. So that is just going to go in the oven tonight. I'll put some oil on it, some salt, and I'll roast that for about an hour. And what we have some chilies. I'm going to use these for the stir fry and for my wraps. And I have some jalapenos here as well. And I'll put those in my pulled pork. And maybe I'll put some in my barbecue sauce as well, especially these red chilies. I'm also going to put some chipotles in adobo sauce in my barbecue sauce. So these red chilies, I did not bother taking the seeds out because they're not very spicy and there's not a lot of seed in them. These jalapenos have a large pith in it, so I will get rid of that. And I'll just cut that into little ribbons. Alright, that's the chilies taken care of. And then we have some peppers. And these are going to go in the fajitas. I'll cut some larger pieces for that. And in the stir fry, I'll cut them slightly smaller for that. So I have a yellow and a red, just for some color. So for the fajitas, I'll cut them into strips. And for the stir fry, I'll cut it into little cubes. And I'll do the same for the red. Okay, and for the wraps, I'm also gonna grate some cheese real quick, and we'll just set that aside. Clean up a little bit. I'll turn my Ninja Foodi on already on saute. I'm gonna put some oil in. And while this heats up, I'll just give it a quick clean. And then we'll get started on the pulled pork, on the barbecue sauce, and we'll make the wraps. All right, Ninja Foodi is preheating. I have here some stewing pork. And some salt. And I'll just get some color on that. Here I have a saucepan on the heat. I'll add some oil to that. And some onions. Some garlic. You know what? We'll just do some chilies. We'll do the red ones. And some salt with that as well. And we'll saute that for a bit. So for the pork, I just want to get a little bit of color on there. And this, I just want to saute down. Let's get a spoon. And while that is going on, I also preheated my oven. Well, I am preheating it. It's on as high as it will go. So that needs to warm up too for like 20 to 30 minutes to get like really hot for the wraps. So I'll just set this aside for now. While that is getting some color and that sauteing, we'll multitask a bit and get started on these wraps. I have a clean towel here. Just gonna wrap this in there. And we're going to squeeze as much of the liquid out as possible. Funny faces while twisting this are optional. Right. That was a lot of water. Now I'll just put that in there. I'll add an egg. For half a head of cauliflower like this, it's about 1 egg. If you do a whole head for a bigger portion, use 2 eggs. And here I have my cheese. I want to quickly check on this. Yeah, that's all soft. So I'll add some chipotles in adobo. I just have a can here from the other day, so there are 2 or 3 left. So I'll just put those in, and I'll put some tomato puree in. And I'll just do 2 of these small oil cans. And we'll just fry that up for a bit. Get rid of that raw tomato taste. So the pork is starting to get some color, so I'll add my onions to that as well. So that's about 1 onion. And some garlic. And we'll do a bunch of these jalapenos, just a nice handful. There we go. Saute that as well. And we'll put this away. Now for some smoky flavor, I have some smoked paprika on top of the chipotles. Here I have some apple cider vinegar. And some sweetener. I don't have brown sugar replacement, so if I had, I would use that, but it just means it's a little brighter red. I'll just give that a stir. And I'll just give that a quick taste. Nice and spicy. I want a little bit more apple cider vinegar. And a little more sweetener, just to balance that out. Yeah, that's nice. And I just want to thin that out a little bit, so I'll add some water. And there we go. I'll just let that cook through for a little bit. And meanwhile, I'll check on the pork. Yeah, that's all nicely sauteed. So I'll get some stock cubes. You can just use a carton of stock or whatever you have, but I just like using the cubes because they store a lot easier. Add some water. And just to save some time, I'll pressure cook this. You can also just use a slow cooker, but this will be, how much? I would probably go for about 40 minutes because it's already in pieces. Maybe I'll just go 45. So I'll just let that go. Meanwhile, the sauce is looking nice. It's cooked through. So I'll just let that cool off a little bit before I put that in the blender. And then we can focus our attention back on the wraps. I'm just going to mix that through. You can use any cheese you want. I just have some aged Gouda. But if you have cheddar or mozzarella or anything else, just use that. And the cheese is what makes this a little more pliable. And you can see that holds its shape nicely. Now when these are dry when you roll them out. They can be a little bit fragile, but you can totally do that. But you have to roll it out on some baking paper, because you can't just pick them up. It rolls out easily, but you need this underneath so you can take it off. So just take about a golf ball size, slightly off center. Put another piece of paper over it. Squeeze it. And there we have our first little wrap. So I'll just repeat that. I just reused the top piece for a new piece. There we go. Squeeze. And we'll repeat that for the rest. I managed to get 8 of these wraps out of the amount I had. So I'm just gonna put these in the oven. And I'll start by giving it about 8 to 10 minutes, then I'll check. I just want to see them get a little bit brown around the edges and on the top, not too brown. So when it just starts browning, then they're ready. And for the barbecue sauce, because I used the onions and the chilies and the chipotles, I'm just gonna give that a quick blitz. Transfer this to a container. And that will be good for at least a couple of days, probably a week even. So yeah, I'll just finish pouring this in, and then I'll see you when everything is done. Okay, we have our pork shredded, so that's ready to go with my keto spicy barbecue sauce. And then here we have the wraps. They're nice and golden brown. They ended up taking about 12 minutes, but you want to check after about 10, because once they start to brown, it goes pretty quick, so you definitely don't want to overdo it. But yeah, that was it. It took me about an hour start to finish to get everything ready for the week. So if you like this, I do this every single Saturday. There's a playlist linked at the end here. And if you like grocery hauls, I do those every Saturday. So if you like this, leave a comment, leave a like, maybe subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!